Because in order, whatever color we use, in order to color the entire area with red wool or with whatever color wool, that is a lot of wool. That is a lot of wool. We've got about 16 blocks this way, so you figure 4 rows of this is 64 blocks, which is a full stack. So 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks, and then you figure this thing is maybe, it would take maybe 100 stacks or something, just roughly estimating that number. But it might indeed take that amount of wool. So what we are going to try to do is go ahead and not run into the wall, but we are going to try to head over to our wool farm, and we are going to expand it, and we are also going to work on our wheat farm, because in order to get out of this hole that we're stuck in order to breed all of those sheep, basically here's the idea. So we need to lay out the floor plan, and we need to breed the sheep with a lot of wheat and stuff. So let me just go ahead and start filling in the floor with dirt while we're talking. I'm gonna go ahead and try to expand this area. You know what would make this so much easier? A turtle. Turtles make things so much easier. So what we're going to do with this turtle is we are going to set him up with a extremely simple program. What he is going to do is just simply to go along and place down a row of cobblestone. That will make it so much quicker. What do we call it? Place in a line. Okay, let's run place in a line. And he is going to simply go forward and place them in a line. That's perfect. He's doing exactly what we asked him to do. Oh, you know what? We could very simply tell this guy, instead of just going straight in a line, we could tell him, go straight in a line until you hit a block. And as soon as you hit a block, then go ahead and turn around into the next lane, and then go along until you hit a block again. That's basically what we could have him do. All right, that should be that good to go. We shall see if it does indeed work as it is supposed to. Let's go ahead and check this out. Place in a line, and it is going to... Okay, so it first went through and scanned the entire thing for... Oh, wow. Okay, so whatever we did to it is slowing it down a lot. You can see it's there. It moves... and then waits, and then places, and then moves, and then waits, and then places, and waits, and then moves, and okay, so it is doing a lot. What is it doing? So we need to somehow tell it to stop scanning through every slot every time. So yeah, so that could be a problem. So let's see what to do about that. Terminate program. You know what, actually? Let's just go ahead and try it as it is. So, let's go ahead and not edit. Let's just go ahead and let it run as it is going. See what happens. I'm a little concerned why it's not actually selecting any slot at all. Like, I thought it was supposed to be selecting the slot. Not entirely sure what's going on. So there's two times that it selects the slots. For those of you guys who are confused, first it checks to see if it has any items in them, which means that it goes through all of these, and that's what we just did with the every 10 times it moves, it counts the items. So it doesn't do that every time, but in any case, then it does the second thing where it goes through to actually place a block and scans through, and it is going the wrong way. Why is it going the wrong way? That's weird. That's weird. Why is it going the wrong way? It is starting with turning. Okay, so what happened there? So if it is, maybe it's because the turtle, maybe it held on to a variable or something because it wasn't restarted. Let's go ahead and try this. Let's go ahead and go right. Let's get him to go to the corner over there. So go forward and go right. Okay, so now he's there. So let's try this again. Let's restart the turtle, see if he will go left, because he should go left first, because that's the way we placed it. Wrong button. Okay, that's the way we set it up, was so that he would go left first, and yet he's going right. So why is he going right? I don't know, but you know what? Maybe he will go along this way and do things as we want him to do them this direction. So let's go ahead and assume that he is for some reason turning to the right first and then going to turn left. So let's go ahead and send him down this row and go ahead and send him around this way. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's set him in that row. So go right and go forward. Wrong spelling. There we go. And go. Nope, wrong button. You can, by the way, when you're in this menu like this and you're going to type things, you can press the up arrow to go through your previous things that you've typed in. So there we go. Now he's facing the right way. Now we shall assume that he will go forward, and let's restart just to be sure. Clear any variables, you know, that's what restarting does. And there we go. Now he's going to run forward, and he is going to hopefully get all the way to the end down here and turn right and then go down this row. And then here's the big question: is the turn left thing actually working? Because if he keeps trying to turn right every time, then that would explain why he gets down to here and turns right instead. So that wouldn't be very good if it is always going right. We shall see if he will go left, but he may or may not help us in that endeavor, but we shall see. So let's go ahead and fill this in while we are waiting for him to reach the end. And there we go, and now he is just about at the end, and when he actually makes it to the end, we shall see that he turns right. Alright, and he goes and places down, and then he goes and places down this way. Okay, he is placing down very nicely. Now the big question comes when he gets to the other end there, is he going to turn left or turn right? He should go and turn left, which would mean that he would then head more that direction and head back down this way. That is what he should do if he's working properly. And he is currently placing down the cobblestone floor. The nice thing about this program that we programmed him for right now is once this program actually works, it's a question of he can just very easily take any type of block that we want him to use, and he will go and place it down in the platform. He will place it down in a platform. We could have him build floors and things. That would work very nicely indeed. Very nicely indeed. And he's almost at the end, but not quite. Not quite, but almost there. He shall be getting there fairly soon, and then we shall see. Is he going to turn left? Is he going to turn right? That is the big question. Is he going to turn left or right? We want him to cover this whole area. And is he going to turn left or turn right? That is the big question, and it is right. Okay, so he is always turning right. That is the problem. So let's go ahead and terminate this. Why is he always turning right? Oh, wait a minute. We check the conditions. We check the conditions for the turning left, but we don't check them for turning right, do we? Let's go ahead and check. Turn right down here. Where does he turn right? If turtle.detect is equal to... Oh, here might be the problem. No, it might not. I'm confused. Are you guys confused yet? Because this is confusing. So, okay, let's walk this through. Basically, the turtle here repeats this code section, the well, true, do. He repeats all of this code for every single block that he travels. So, let's run the case of what happens when the turtle is, let's say, on this block, and he's going this way. Okay, so he goes along, so well, true do. Counts the items and checks if he can run. That's what this if thing does, and then he runs. So he first tries to turn left. Turtle.detect. If there is a block in front, then turn left, place the things, go forward, and turn left. Okay, so he's over here. He's over here. And he knows there's no block in front, so he doesn't do that part. He moves on to this part down here, which is go forward. So he places this block and then goes forward. And then he runs this line. Oh, maybe could this be part of the problem? Okay, so it depends where he gets to. Where he gets to in the loop, that's the problem. Because what's happening is he's going along. What happens if he is right here, let's say? He's here. He runs that first part of the code which says check if he can turn left, and if he can't turn... if he doesn't need to turn left, rather, if he doesn't need to turn left, then go forward these lines. And so he goes forward, and then what he does is he checks if he needs to turn right, and then he turns right. That is the problem. It's just having to do with the syncing of the code somehow. Like it's getting out of sync somehow, so that he's reaching here and he's running this later section because that's where he's up to. No, that can't be right. That can't be right, because if he's here, he will check if he can turn left. He can't turn left. He doesn't need to turn left, rather. So then he goes forward, which... Oh, no, yeah, it does. Okay, it does. So basically he's here, and then he doesn't turn left, so he goes forward, and then he runs the check if turn right program, and then turns right, and then goes that way. So that is basically what the problem is. So how do we fix that? How do we fix that? That is the question. That is the... Ooh, actually, functions would do this. That would require basically rewriting the whole program, but functions would do that fairly easily. Let me think about this. I'll be back in a minute. Aha! Here's a way that may not require rewriting most of the program. So, if we think of this in two different modes, then it should make some sense. So basically, think of it in two different modes. So like, let's say he's going along this way. He is in turn right mode. So he will go along, he's ready to turn right until he hits the block. He turns right, goes around, and like that. And now he is in, he's in turn left mode. So he will go along until he reaches the end over here, and whoops, that's not the end. That is the place to fall down, like that. But anyways, he will go along until he reaches the end. He is still in turn left mode, and then he will turn left and proceed back along this way. That is the idea, and now I just have to get back up there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get up like that, and maybe in the there we go. Okay, now. Here is the plan. Here's the plan. Take this, and inside of this main, well, true loop, without having to rewrite the whole thing, we're going to have him first check for turning left, then gonna have him check for turning right, then gonna have him go forward. And that you may think, well, that's going to run into some interesting situations, because first he checks for turning left, so no matter what, he hits a block and then he turns left. And, well, yes and no, because if we have him switch modes through the use of a true-false variable, that may work very well. So we need to take this go forward part and move it down later. There we go. The go forward, not function, but the go forward lines have been placed after the turn right lines, which are after the turn left lines. Now, as it currently stands, it will go through, it will check if it needs to turn, and it will turn left. And that is that. It will always turn left because that's what it runs into first. So we need to have it switch modes is what we need to have it do. And the way to do that in this case, the way we are going to do that is we are going to first tell it which mode it's in. So let's do a variable right at the beginning of the program. Let's call it let's just call it something simple like turn left mode is equal to true, and that is not how you spell true. True, there we go. So it will say it is in turn left mode to start with. Now, we will get down to here into our code, and we will say turning left if it is in turn left mode, which it will start with. So it'll always start in turn left mode. So we always have to start this turtle facing this way, where he will go here, and then he'll be like, oh, turn left, and he turns left, and then switches into turn right mode. So that is basically what we have to have it do. So turn left, we need, first of all, in this if thing, it checks if turtle.detect, but it also needs to check for a second condition. You can do that. So what we are going to have it do is check for the first conditions and the second conditions. The second one is if there is indeed a block that it's running into to go ahead and turn. But the first condition is it in turn left mode? So let's take our variable from up there, which was what? It was called turn left mode. Okay, that's fairly simple. All right, so if it is in turn left mode, that is our variable that we have up there. If turn left mode is equal to true, then run all of this turn left code. And in this turn left code, once it decides to actually turn left, then last thing to do as part of turning left is set turn left. Let's do the proper capitalization. Turn left mode. Let's set turn left mode to false. And so basically what happens is it starts at the beginning of the code up here. Turn left mode, it sets that to true. It says, okay, it's in turn left mode, and it goes along and gets ready to turn left, waits until it can turn left. Once it has turned left, as part of turning left, it sets turn left mode to false, which means that turn left mode is now no longer active, so it will turn right. So in the turn right thing, we want it to, yes, check for a block in front, but also check for if it is in turn right mode, and we will tell that by turn left mode if it is equal to false. By the way, the double equals sign, if you don't know this, the double equals sign means it checks if it's equal, and a single equals means that it is setting it to equal, if that makes sense. Anyways, so turn left mode. If turn left mode is false, then turn right. So that should work. So what should happen if everything worked according to plan? It will start in turn left mode. It will go along this way, and it will turn left and turn off turn left mode. It will set that to false. So it is now in turn right mode. So it will go all the way along to the other end of the platform, still in turn right mode, and it will turn right, and then it needs to actually, it needs to actually reset the variable back to turn left mode is active. So let's go ahead and do that right in the turn right mode settings here, the program for turning right. At the very end of it, we want turn left mode, and we want to set that with a single equal sign. We want to set that to true. There we go. So turn left mode is now true. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully it was done properly so that it will actually work. Actually, we need to set this guy in the right place first. So go right and go forward and go right. There we go. Now he should, if everything works properly. If we go ahead and say place in a line, he's now in turn left mode. There we go. He turns left. And now he goes along. And he's still in turn left mode. He should, no, he's in turn right mode now. He should reach the other end and then set himself into, oh, this is interesting. You know, the void effect. The void effect is basically, as you get closer down to the void, you can't see as far, and it appears to be changing right between that block down and this block up. So you go down here, and the other wall back there is really much in darkness, but you jump up one block, and then you can just about see that wall. And the weird thing is, you move over like this. Oh, because there's also the shadows on the place as well. Stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and keep placing these. He is still in turn right mode. If it works successfully, then he will fairly soon go and turn and then switch into turn right mode. And hopefully this whole big sheep farm that we're making will not lag the frame rate too much. Hopefully not. We shall find out if it will indeed do that. We shall find out indeed. And let's see. Okay, he's just about there. Is he going to turn right? Is he going to turn right? Is he going to turn right? That is the big question. And will he turn right? Will he turn right as he's placing stuff? He will go ahead and turn right. He is turning right. Okay, but the big question is, did it reset properly? Is he now in turn left mode? He should be, but is he in turn left mode? So if he gets to the other end and turns left, then he's good to go. And we don't really need to place all this dirt down because we could just send him through again with an inventory full of dirt instead of cobblestone. We could do that, but we might as well place this down while we are waiting for him to discover whether he is in turn left mode or not. And that is a thing, you know what, we do need to place down some cobblestone walls as well, and we also need to have a... Ooh, you know what? We could even take this program and modify it a bit to use over the rocket room. Oh, that would work very nicely because this program, all we need to do, because the rocket room is, it has that roof, right? It's like this roof, similar to this roof, where it is a covered roof. We need to have the roof removable so that the rocket will be able to exit through the roof. And we could have a turtle like this destroying the roof and then placing the roof back down when the rocket's gone. So he would need to not be going down but going up instead, breaking and placing the blocks above his head. And then he could simply go back and forth and stuff like that, and we need to change it from placing to breaking and stuff like that. There, he is in turn left mode. He is in turn left mode. Now he's in turn right mode. Okay, so this should be good. He will keep going along like this all the way until he's done. Now, it is going very slowly. Is there a way to speed it up? What is he doing with his time? What is he doing with his time? Okay, so places. Okay, so he places, and then there's a bit of a delay. What time does he move in sequence there? What time is he moving? So, places, and then waits, and then moves, and so he moves, and immediately you can see this selection thing moving, the bar around the selection thing, the outline. He moves, and immediately that happens, and then he waits, and then moves, and then immediately goes, and so he waits, and then moves. Why is he waiting and then moving? What is he doing before moving? That is the big question. Let's go ahead and terminate this, and try to speed this program up a little bit. Why is he waiting before moving? So, let's go back down to our main while loop, which is this thing here. This is our main program loop. Okay, so what we've got here, he counts the total items first, and then he checks if he needs to turn left, and then he checks if he needs to turn right, and then he goes forward by placing stuff, Okay, so let's check, let's go all the way through. This shouldn't take very long, most of what he's doing, so why is he delaying before moving? So, okay, so count total items is the first thing that he does. And you know what, let's go ahead and, for the sake of having a cleaner screen so that we can tell where exactly he's delaying, this print line here, printing to the screen, let's go ahead and disable that line so that the screen will be cleaner. And let's go ahead and have him tell us when he's running this count total items function and when he's running the other one. So print to the screen, let's say in quotes, let's say that makes it a string, running count total items. Count. Okay, I'll do this and be back in a minute. There we go. So we can now tell which function, because he will print it to the screen, and so now we can tell which function he's running. Oh, and because we terminated the program, we need to send him back that way because he will start in turn left mode always. We could probably fix that so that he asks for user input that tells him which mode to start in. You know what? We could probably do that, but not right now. So let's go ahead and edit this. Not edit this. Let's go ahead and go right and go forward. Again, go forward. There we go. And whoops, let's go ahead and like that. There we go. And then go right. There we go. Now let's let him go with his program thing here. And what is going to happen, what we just changed, is he will tell us, okay, running place stuff, count total items, place stuff, count total items, place stuff, count total items, place stuff. Okay, so it's very quickly starting the count total items function and moving into place stuff. So count total items is not taking very long because it keeps getting skipped until every 10th block. That is what is happening. So that's good. So what is happening is between when it runs place stuff and when it gets back into count total items is when the delay is happening. Because as you can see on the screen here, it's very quickly going count total items, place stuff, count total items, place stuff. It's very quickly going through that, and then place stuff is taking a long time to get back to count total items. So let's go ahead and check on why it's doing that. So we know it's not in the counting section that is the problem. We know that it is in the placing stuff section or in a related section somewhere. So trying to speed up this program. Count total items is running nice and fast. Where exactly does that run in the thing? So the code thing here, and you know what? It would have been good to get a golden turtle because we could actually see it in color. Let me just see. I'm going to go around and see if I have enough gold to get a golden turtle because then we can see it in color. You know what? For the moment, at least, we don't need this gold on the floor here. We don't need the gold making up the floor. So let's go ahead and turn that back into... Wait. Can you even turn it back into the... hello? Pick up the gold, please. Okay, can you even turn it back into golden ingots? Oh, yeah, I suppose you can. Oh, okay, so just go ahead and place it like that. And go ahead and you now have a block of gold. And now you have 9 golden ingots. Okay, that's perfect. That is perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill in the floor there. And now we should be good to make the golden turtle. All right. The program has now been copied. And as you can see, this turtle is in color, sort of. It's got a lot of color. This one is no longer needed. Let's go ahead and break this guy. And let's go ahead and take this guy. Let's set a label for this guy just so that if we accidentally break him, then it won't be a big deal. Plays, let's call it the same thing, in a line. There we go. And now the computer has a label called whoop. That's not what it's called. A computer has a label called whoops. And this computer is now called place in a line, and now it will retain its programs upon breaking it. Let's go ahead and get rid of this floppy disk. There we go. And now we can go ahead and first of all tell it to refuel. Refuel. There we go. And now he has taken the lava. And let's go ahead and give him some cobblestone to do some things with. And he will go ahead and use that to go and finish this floor. So that is good. So what is going to happen is we are going to edit this program, and now we can see It is in color. You can see it is in color. It is in color. It's got yellow, and it's got red and green, and they all mean different things and stuff like that. And that is that. There's a lot of green and a lot of yellow and stuff like that. All right. Now, let's go ahead and exit this. There's a lot more features of the advanced turtle. Not edit. Let's go ahead and run it. There's a lot more features of the advanced turtle. But we are not going to use them today. We're just going to use it simply to do its thing. Okay, let's go ahead and terminate, actually, because we wanted to find out why place stuff was taking so long. So, edit place in a line. Go down here. Here is our function. You can see it more clearly now because it's in color. So, function place stuff. So that is run whenever our code down here, the green is things that are commented out. So that basically means it's just a comment, and it doesn't actually run anything. It's just so that we can see it better. So anyways, so we go along here, count total items. That one's fast. Total number, item count, thing like that. And then turn left mode. Check if it is in turn left mode. And then do this thing, which is detect. If detect is true. Oh, so it's running detect there. Okay, so that's good. Detect takes a little bit of time. Not sure how much, but it takes a little bit. And then it turns left, which takes a little bit. Okay, but that is okay, so here's the problem that we're trying to solve. The problem is in the main straight pathways. In the straight pathways, it's going along and it takes a long time. So anything in the turn left function doesn't matter for that. And especially because it comes along here. First, it checks if it is in turn left mode. Okay. So, let's assume it is in turn left mode. Then it goes here. It will check for if there is a block in front. So, the detect takes a little bit of time, but we kind of need that there. Then it goes on, and it's not yet in turn right mode. So, it evaluates this first if thing here, the turn left mode. And it's like, nope, that's not true, so it doesn't bother evaluating the rest of this because it's an AND in the middle here. So if the first one's not true, it's like, oh, no bother checking the second one. So it skips all of this turn right stuff. Then it goes forward. So it places down and then goes forward. And the delay, I think, was in between when, wait a minute, was the delay... Okay, let's go ahead and back it up. Was the delay as soon as it said it's running place stuff before it actually moved forward? Is that what the delay was? Because if that's what the delay was, you know what? Let's go ahead and change the GUI scale so that we can see this better. GUI scale, not that way. Let's go ahead and change it to small. Okay, so this is going to be very hard to read, but it means that the turtle window thing is really small. So that means that we should be able to go ahead and see this more clearly past the screen. What we need to see is when on the screen here it says it's running place stuff. I think it was place stuff, right? Place stuff. But when it runs place stuff, yes, place stuff. From when it starts running place stuff, how long until is it that it starts place stuff and delays and then moves forward? Or is it that it starts place stuff, moves forward, and then delays? That is the question. That will tell us where in the program is the problem. So let's go ahead and go backwards just so that we can get it lined up properly. Go backwards, let's say 10. Nope, not 10. Let's say, oh, and it's not backwards, it's just back. So go back, and let's do 20 instead. There we go, go back 20. Now it will go back 20, and as you can see, this is more what we're looking for. This is simply going backwards, and it is going really fast. It does not have a delay much. That is what we're looking for. So, where is in the sequence? Where in the sequence is the problem? So let's go ahead and tell it to run place in a line. Running place stuff, delay, and then moves. Running place stuff, delay, and then move. Okay, so it is between when it starts the function place stuff and when it moves. Between those two things is where the delay is. So let's go ahead and make the GUI scale back up to normal. Okay. Let's go ahead and edit this. So it is somewhere, as you can see, down in our main, wrong button, down in our main, oh, and by the way, you can use the scroll wheel. On the advanced turtles, you can use your mouse scroll wheel, which is very nice as well. So let's go down to the end here. And when it starts going forward, in between when it runs place stuff and when it actually goes forward, in between those two things is when the delay is. So it is in this place stuff function. That is what it is in. So let's go up to our place stuff function, which would be this one down here. This is only a few lines of code, but this few lines of code is very slow. So let's see, place stuff. Okay, so what it does, first it prints to the screen. That doesn't take much time at all. Then it goes and checks. Okay, so it starts, oh, it is cycling through this loop, cycling through all 16 times of that loop before continuing and moving on to the other things. That is the problem. What we need to do is go until it finds the first block that is in the inventory and place that down and then move on. But instead, it is repeating every single slot. So, okay, so here's an interesting question. Actually, there is, so basically what's happening is it gets to here. Let's, okay, basically what's happening, it gets to here, and it goes, okay, so set I to 1, so check detect down. If there is not a block there, then do the selecting slot and placing down. So if there is not a block, then it will run this, it will place down, and then obviously there will be a block, so it goes the second time around the loop and it finds there is a block, and so it just skips over these two lines, and then it goes back up here, runs the loop again, and checks for if there is a block again. And the checking seems to take some time. Every single time it checks that. So what we need it to do is after it checks, we need it to jump out of the loop. So that is the thing. Now, there is, I don't know anything about how this works, but there is a word you can type in break, and you can see it turned yellow there. It is a word that does something. It's supposed to break it out of a loop, but we're putting the break thing inside of an if statement inside of the loop. So will it work properly? We also need to know, before we put that in, we need to know that it is in fact repeating, just so that we know whether the break thing works. So we need to print to the screen. So print, we need to tell which time through the loop this is, so print I. Okay, and not just simply I, because we won't know what that means probably on the debug screen. So let's go ahead and print the text. Plays stuff, and here's an interesting thing is if you want, what we want here is we want it to print whatever I is, but we also want it to print this string. You can see as soon as we put quotes around this, it is a string, because the programming treats it as text, which is what it is. But if you want to connect that with a simple variable, then you can use two dots. So place stuff is on, and actually we need a space there, otherwise it'll look weird. But anyways, place stuff is on, and then two dots, and then the I variable, and that will tell us which time through place stuff it is. So place in a line, place stuff is on. Okay, there we go. Yes, you can see that is the problem. So let's go ahead and actually switch the GUI scale back down so we can, no, actually we won't be able to read it. Let's go ahead and you can see it moves and then scans through 16 times and then moves again. That is what the problem is. That is what the problem is. Let's terminate this. And now he is too close to the edge. So let's just go ahead and tell him to go back 20 again, and then we can continue this. So that is the problem, is that he is going through that loop 16 times for every block. We only need him to go through until he finds a block to place down. That is what we need. So will he be able, if we put in that break word, will it work? If break is meant basically to go back out to the next level out of the code cycle, like loop thing. So if we put the break, basically so it checks for slots and stuff, and if it detects that there is no block down below, then select and place down, and then stop going through this loop. Break if bread. Okay. Break. Okay, let's see if this will work. Let's run. And no, it is not working. Okay, so that is not the way to use the break command. Okay, let's go ahead and instead catch up to this turtle over here. And let's go ahead and... how are we going to do this? I'm going to have to think about this. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so basically we need to write our own for loop. We need to create a for loop. By the way, you can also, in the advanced turtle, which is this guy, the golden one, you can also click, which is not possible on the simple turtle, but you can click to where you want your cursor to be, which is very helpful. So in any case, we need it essentially to check the slots. Yes, go from 1 to 16. Yes, do that. But also only do that if there is no block below, because if it places down, then stop doing the loop. That's basically what we need to have it do. So let's go ahead and write our own for loop. There is another kind of loop, a third kind. We've used all three kinds today. There is a repeat loop. And what the repeat loop does is it goes and runs once, but then evaluates at the end of the thing. So this end here was part of the for loop. So in any case, repeat until, and then evaluates at the end, and then we can tell it to check for if I is 16 or if there's a block below. So let's go ahead and tell it to do that actually. Repeat until turtle.detect down is equal to true. So if there is a block below, repeat until there is a block below, or in the case that it repeats through all 16 slots and there for some reason is no blocks in the slots. So repeat, so check if there's a block below, repeat until there is a block below, or I is equal to 16. Actually, let's do greater than or equal to just in case it ever messes up. So there we go. That is that. So repeat until those things happen. Until one of those things happen, either there is a block below or I equals 16. Now, you can see that I will no longer change the way it is. So let's go ahead and set I manually. This is what the for loop does for you. Haha, for loop does for you very easily, but in any case, let's go ahead and do it ourselves. So first, set I equal to 0. So it runs this function, place stuff. It sets I to 0 to start with, and then it repeats, and inside the repeat, we want it to start by setting I to 1. I is equal to I, so whatever I previously was, plus 1. So that means it will start I on 0, it will set I to 1, and it will select the slot 1, and it will go through to the until down here, and then go back up and repeat, and set I to 2, and go through, and then set I to 3, and then set I to 4, and blah blah blah, keep going like that, until I equals 16. And once I equals 16, it will finish the for loop. That is basically what's happening. We created our own manual for loop, and we are also detecting down. So if at any point, so let's say it goes through, let's say there's blocks in the first slot here, like there is, and then let's say we're going down, it runs place stuff, it sets I to 0, and sets I to 1, and then it goes and places a block down, gets down to here and says, oh, there's a block, okay, forget this, and then it's done the thing. It doesn't loop anymore, and it just goes and keeps going. That should, whoops, opening the start menu. Okay, that should be working. So let's see, let's go ahead and place in a line, and we should see, yes! It is running full speed ahead. That is what we like to see. That is, oh, it stopped for a second there. Every 10th block it does that. It reevaluates every 10th block, and that is okay. And yes, it is running a bit slower now because it has to actually place the blocks, but it is running very quickly indeed. That is the problem. That was the problem, is that it was repeating the loop too many times. And as you can see now, it says place stuff is on 1, and it doesn't bother bringing place stuff up higher than that because it just goes ahead and it's like, oh, I am placing down just fine. Now, we should see, as soon as that first slot of blocks runs out, it should be counting place stuff up to 2. So 1 and then 2, and so it will slow down slightly. Let's see if we can see when it switches to the second slot, because it will slow down a little bit, but not much. Not much. I think it's on the second slot already, and it doesn't really look different. So you can see, place stuff, it sets it to 1, then sets it to 2, then moves on. And every 10th block it goes and evaluates all of the slot, the item count, and stuff like that. And it is going along very, very nicely indeed. Alrighty, so this thing, going pretty much full speed, is going to be going down this way and making his way through this entire section of the base down here like that, which is really dark over there, so we can't really see it because it's out of the void effect render thing. So that is that. So he is on his way. We need to actually fix this section of the floor that he missed because we were going back and forth and stuff like that. And there we go. That is that fixed, and he can go along like that, and he could also be sent along a second time with the grass and fill that in, and that is that. So we will soon have this area completely filled in, and then we will have the benefit of, we can expand our sheep farm, we can expand our tree farm onto the grass as well, we can expand our wheat farm, we can expand all kinds of things, because you need dirt for the wheat farm as well. So he's going to be placing down the foundation, and then the dirt on top of the foundation, and that is good. Ooh, we could actually send the place stuffed turtle, the non-advanced version, behind him and get this all done all at once. We could do that, or I could just leave them like this. Anyways, we are going to continue probably next episode working on expanding this, setting up the wheat farm over there, and setting up the sheep farm over here, and get our sheep all dyed, probably red. Let me know if you guys think another color will look good. I think red looks really good though, or would look really good for the rocket room. But for now, that turtle is going along very, very nicely indeed. He's on his way through, and he is going full speed ahead. That is what we like to see. So that is that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys enjoyed the video and stuff like that, then leave a like on the video and stuff like that. And if you know anybody who would be interested in this type of a video, then go ahead and let them know as well. But besides that, let's go ahead and celebrate. The turtle is now working. Yay! Whoops. Okay, that is not the way to celebrate. Okay, we just managed to survive that drop. But in any case, we have now successfully celebrated. We have celebrated the thing that is the turtle is working, and that is that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and stuff like that. And as always, if you have any questions or suggestions or whatever, questions and suggestions pretty much rhyme, questions and suggestions. But if you have any, whatever you happen to have, then go ahead and put them in the comments section. Unless, of course, it's a porcupine, then it's kind of hard to put in a comments section. So I guess don't put whatever you happen to have, but you can put all kinds of things in the comments section. Getting tongue-tied again. Anyways, he is going. Okay, he has ran out of blocks, and he will go until he has gone the 10th block, at which point he should stop. And as you can see, he's going slower. Oh, count total items. There we go. And now he has stopped because he's like, oh, I'm out of blocks. So we can go get him some more blocks, fill him up with 16 stacks of blocks, and then he will continue. Let's actually just go ahead and check if that will indeed work. If he will indeed continue. Actually, I can even check that with the 10 cobblestone that are in the inventory right now. That is possible to check right now. So let's go ahead and just simply place those in there. He will wait 100 seconds is what we told him to wait. And then he should start going again. That would be good if he should start going good. And come on, 100 seconds is a long time when you're waiting for it. It is a long time when you're waiting for it. We shall see. Is he going to start? Is he going to start? Is he going to start, or is he just going to sit there and not do anything? Is he just going to sit there and not do anything? Is he just got... That almost sounds like a very interesting line that you could put in a song or something, because it has like a musical ring to it. Is he just going to sit there and not do anything? That is the musical ring to it, but in any case, come on. Come on, do something, please. Do something, please. Count total items. Count total items, please. Count total items. Why are you not doing anything? Come on. Come on. 100 seconds is a long time when you're waiting for it. 100 seconds. Come on. Come on. That's got to be more than 100 seconds by now. It's got to be more than 100 seconds by now. It's got to be more than 100 seconds. Okay, so maybe he doesn't restart too well after losing his blocks. But that is okay. Let's leave him like that. I'm just going to go ahead and off camera. I'm going to restart the turtle, and that is probably all that will be needed to be done. Oh! Never mind. 100 seconds is longer than you think it is when you're waiting for it. So that is that. He has now placed down all of his 10 blocks, and not quite, and there we go. And 10 blocks fit in perfectly. Now he's counting total items, and he's stopped. Okay. Oh, no, he's still going. Apparently there was 1 block left, or something. So, oh, he just counted total items again. And no, why is he not stopping now? He's not stopping now. He's not stopping now. What is he going? What is he doing? What is he doing? He should be counting total items and finding that there is nothing in his inventory, so he should be stopping, but he is not stopping. So first he wouldn't start, then he wouldn't stop. What is he doing? But in any case, it mostly works. It mostly works as a program. Why is he not stopping? I don't know. But in any case, that is that, and I think I'll just leave him like that. Unless you guys happen to see in the program why he is not stopping. But let's just go ahead, and if any of you guys want to try this program for yourself or whatever, you can go ahead and let's go ahead and paste bin put, let's type it properly, put place in a line. There we go. So what this means is that you can go ahead and in your ComputerCraft mod, you can type in what it says here, run paste bin get, and then this big combination of letters, lowercase x, uppercase e, and lowercase v, w, b, uppercase r, and 0. And if you type that in, then it will download the program, and you can go ahead and try it for yourself, and stuff like that, and figure out why in that world he didn't stop. He ran the count total items function multiple times and didn't stop, so I don't even know what's going on. But in any case, that is besides the point. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and stuff, blah, 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 stuff like that. And stop getting tongue-tied and have a good day and all that kind of stuff. And see you guys later. Bye-bye!